They are now leading in 2. Remember, you know, for a political party, it's a slow ride up. It's not easy. They are leading in 2, and one of them is they are defeating Churchill Alema of the TMC, who simply took the TMC ticket, has been in every party, and he's being defeated by someone I met, Venzi Vegas. Again, 35-year-old guy who's contested a panchayat election, won it, now is defeating the mighty Churchill Alema by 2,300, which is effectively means that he's in pole position to win. The point I'm making is that Goa also is undergoing churning. In fact, if the opposition had aligned, the BJP would have been swept out. The only reason the BJP is winning Goa is a fragmented opposition, especially in South Goa. But if the BJP numbers fall to 15, we could have all kinds of games going on late into the night in Goa. So Goa is where the poll will probably take place tonight after 10 p.m. That's when...
So why are you saying it will fall? It could also go up just as well. From 17 to 19.
It could, but I'm saying the only state, out of all the states, the only story left to tell. Meanwhile, a friend has just sent me, and I think it's fair, Uttarakhand is a real story. It's 2-1, 44 to 22. And maybe we need to look at what's happening in Uttarakhand. Maybe at some stage you can go to your election intelligence dashboard, Rahul, because Uttarakhand was a state where for 20 years, 10 years BJP, 10 years Congress have done alternate governments like in Rajasthan. This time it's being broken in a state where the BJP changed their chief minister 3 times. You went and met Pushkar Dhami. Tell me about that. What is it? Why do you think BJP has done so well in Uttarakhand?
No, Pushkar Dhami is too new to his job for him to have been a...
So what happened in Uttarakhand?
This is the Prime Minister's personal credibility which is taking the BJP to power. If you see the India Today exact poll done by Access My India, 31% of those who voted for the BJP said they did so because of Prime Minister Modi. So in Uttarakhand, it's Modi who literally, despite the anti-incumbency against the MLAs in the state government, is carrying the BJP to power. So it's not so much Dhami himself. He's too new to the job. It's the BJP, the credibility the Prime Minister had is phenomenal, Rajdeep. The fact that the Prime Minister is still held in such high stead despite being in power for 7 years.
So let's look at it, because if you remember in the morning we were talking about Garhwal and Kumar. Take a look at how this election has played out in Uttarakhand. First look at Garhwal. BJP 23-14. This is their Gad. Garhwal is the Gad of the BJP. 23-14. AAP is wiped out here. Very, very marginal presence in Uttarakhand. So the one bad news for the AAP today is coming from Uttarakhand. Not really made much of a headway. And maybe Kejriwal, as he admitted to some people, should have invested more in Uttarakhand than in Goa. Look at what's happening even in Kumar. This is the heartland where the Congress was hoping to make a comeback. Even here, the BJP well ahead, 21-8, and even the likes of Harish Rawat are trailing their potential chief minister candidate.
We can take those VIP seats
Please.
and show our viewers what's happening in the key seats. And that's the point that Rajdeep is making, that if you look at Harish Rawat in Lalkuan, he at this moment is trailing on that seat. Now, this is very disturbing because he's your chief ministerial candidate. Dr. Mohan Singh Bisht of the BJP has 31,056 votes at last count. Harish Rawat is at only 20,000, so 10,000 gap.
And I know for a fact he didn't want to contest because he thought his own party will try and defeat him. That's the nature of the Congress. And I don't know whether, you know...
Let's take Pushkar Singh Dhami, who again, despite being chief minister, and there are many in the BJP in the central leadership who will be looking at this carefully, Pushkar Singh Dhami has only 8,861 votes. Not much of a
very close, very
trailing by
close.
16 votes.
Kapri.
Just 16 votes.
16 votes.
So gap is small, but it shows that he's in a tough fight. It's not like he's the Sehwag who's winning the match for them. It's not.
Sure. Can I, do you have Pritam Singh? Is he there? Because interestingly, he was the other Congress contender who was hoping to become chief minister.
Singh.
We'd like to see how he's doing.
No, he's the
leading.
arch enemy.
So you see, he's the arch enemy. You see, the Congress is a house divided. In every state, they have some problem. Here it is a badly divided
No, but
house.
Rajdeep, all parties have problems in every state. There's a problem between those in the Sangathan in the BJP and Yogi Adityanath. The BJP set in a process to try and deal with that. They let everyone know that Yogi Adityanath is boss. You deal with problems.
You know, we have Ajay Kotial. He was the AAP's face here. He's trailing. You know, again, a credible face. Preeti, you interviewed Colonel Kotial. Why did AAP not spend more time in Uttarakhand? Did they make the mistake of investing too much in Goa and too little in Uttarakhand?
Well,
internally, I'm sure that's what they will feel. And, you know, we're talking about Harish Rawat. I'm quite sure that the AAP would have been very happy if they had Harish Rawat as their chief ministerial face. They hedged and hedged and hedged. Ultimately, they had nobody else but to go with. And that's only when they went with Colonel Kotyal. Otherwise, they would not have gone with him in the first place. It was right in the end when they had absolutely very little option left, is when they went with Colonel Kotyal.
You mean that AAP wanted Harish Rawat to switch and join them?
And Harish Rawat, it's something, it's not out in the open, but yes, it has been speculated, all of us have heard of it, that the AAP really wanted Harish Rawat.
They tried very hard, Harish Rawat said no.
But Harish Rawat, but the fact is this is how the Congress treated him, because Harish Rawat at that point of time came out and said that I am a true blue Gandhian and a Congressee, I'm not going to leave my party.
Sheila, yes, very quickly.
I think as a serious journalist, it's very easy to analyze UP today, but difficult to analyze Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand BJP team is dropping all the balls, bowling no ball, their batsmen are not...
Number of people left the party.
Still winning.
Woman voter, as we saw in the exit
weak
poll.
opposition. Weak opposition. You have to capitalize on the other person's mistake.
Sure, but there was, as per our exit poll, a 10 to 12% gap among women voters. Some stage, someone needs to analyze why is it that so many more women vote for the BJP, even in an anti-incumbency mood in a state like Uttarakhand. And maybe the story will come out of that.
There's one more thing.
Yes.
As soon as Dhami came in, the first thing that he did, he did away with the Char Dham Devsthanam board thing, which was the principal grouse for the people who were angry against the BJP. He immediately came in and struck it down.
3 times CM changed, then lot of...
but look at the course correction. So Dhami was a Karyakarta person. He was Yuva Morcha guy.
But still BJP can manage to win, and Congress in the same situation loses.
क्योंकि संगठन होता है ना, पार्टी केवल नेताओं से नहीं चलती है.
You need hunger to win. The BJP was doing whatever it took to change. The Congress had Harish Rawat fighting battles in Punjab instead of Uttarakhand.
Sure.
Here is a look, very interestingly, at the number of seats the BJP is being able to hold on to. Of the 311 victories they had in 2017, we have in 224 seats, the BJP retaining the seats where they are sitting MLAs. They're losing 87 of them. So the flip is only 28%. 66 of those have gone to the SP, 2 to the BSP, 2 to the Congress. But 72% retained ratio is quite substantial. If you come to the Samajwadi Party, they had 47 wins last time, holding on to 68% of those, losing 15, 13 of those to the BJP. Let's look at tug of war, which is essentially a comparison between the SP and the BJP. In the seats where SP and BJP are 1 and 2, the BJP has a 67% strike. So if it's a bipolar fight between these two parties, 2/3 of those victories have gone to the BJP, Rajdeep.
And I think the worrying news that for the opposition will simply be this. In a mood where you're in a post-pandemic world, where Mayawati is shrinking, where you're getting consolidation of the Muslim Yadav votes, you still can't beat this juggernaut called the BJP.
Because you need more than Muslim Yadavs.
That's right.
But in 2012, you made government with less than these number of votes.
Because it's a third party.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, that was a multipolar race.